This question is great. You guys are lucky, those of you who made it this far in the show. This is great just because it's Brian. Man, this is going to be good. Hey, this is in order. If Brian were to dabble, if Brian wanted to explore his bisexuality, this is who he would do it with in this order. Patrick Vellner, Fikowski, and Bjorgvin, Carl Gudmundsson. These are like, maybe you switch Fikowski and Bjorgvin. But man, Brian loves these guys. This is like a mean question. Who came up with this?
This is Brian's question.
Man, he hates himself. He's a masochist.
Wait, was this my question or was this your question?
It was yours.
Oh, it's my question.
Oh, you hate Brian. That makes more sense. Can Patrick Vellner, guys, listen to this. It's a changing of the guards when you organize it like this. And what's crazy is the guys they're switching out with are two of them are done too. They're old. Men's division's about to get crazy.
No, they're not.
Dude, come on. Ricky's toast. Ricky's got one more year in him.
He's like 27.
He's going to get injured at the next game. Sorry, Ricky. I love him, but he'll be a regular on the show soon too. Can Patrick Vellner, Brent Fikowski, or Bjorgman Carl Gudmundsson ever beat Justin Roman or Ricky ever again? I don't know who went first last time. I think it was John. No, Brian went first. He gave us a huge monologue. You go ahead, John.
Okay, I'll go first. I'm going to say yes. I don't – as far as who wins the CrossFit Games, I don't think Vellner, Fikowski, or BKG ever win the CrossFit Games. But I do think they can mix between Justin, Roman, and Ricky. I think there will be, of those 6 guys, I wouldn't be surprised if next year and the year after that, it's just a combination of all of them. I don't think those 3 always beat the first 3. I do think Justin and Roman are a tier ahead of everybody else, though. I think it's between Justin and Roman as far as who wins the next CrossFit Games, and I seriously think Roman could beat Justin. I don't think Justin is dominant, but obviously Justin is amazing at being consistent, so he's always going to be there. After that, I think it's just depending on the events. Ricky got a lot of events he could crush this year, and he did. So between Ricky, Vellner, Fikowski, and BKG, I think they could all just be a mix with those 2. I think Justin and Roman are in a tier of their own, though.
Two things that I will come back and bring up is John mentioned the events this year at the game, so that is an interesting point. Could the programming really mix these guys up? And I hate that discussion, but I guess it has to be had. And the second thing that I'd like both of you to address is this was Roman's first year, and now he has experience at the games. And how important is that going to be? Ricky, everyone else on that list has already been to the games and had that experience. Brian, go ahead.
As far as winning the CrossFit Games or beating these guys at the games, I thought 2 years ago was Vellner's best chance to win and Fikowski's best chance to win in 2021, and they didn't do it.
That was Matt's first year gone, is what you're saying?
Yeah, and Justin's first win.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Brian sounds like he's doing a eulogy. This kind of hurts.
Coming into this year, I thought the same. I thought it was Vellner's last chance to win. I thought it was Fikowski's last chance to win. I was more confident in Vellner having a chance to compete for the title this year than Brent. Obviously, I ranked him second. I think I ranked Brent 4th or 5th coming into the games. And I had Justin first and Roman third, and I was way off the mark on Ricky. I didn't know that he would be as good as he was this season. I think it's over for these guys relative to beating Justin and Roman for sure, and possibly Ricky as well. Ricky's not that much. He's 28. Roman's 27, if you guys are wondering. At least that's what the game site has him listed as. And BKG is not really that much older than them. He's 29. So I think that there's I don't know. I would say Justin, Roman, and Ricky are those are the guys now, and I think that it's over for Brent and BKG relative to beating them at the games.
And see, I think there's a huge battle for third, and Roman and Justin are just ahead of everybody else. But I think that third place is up for grabs between those 3, Ricky. Maybe Sam Quant. Huge battle for
Roman and Ricky are those are the guys now, and I think that it's over for Brent and BKG relative to beating them at the games.
And see, I think there's a huge battle for third, and Roman and Justin are just ahead of everybody else. But I think that third place is up for grabs between those three, Ricky. I mean, maybe Sam Quant. He's the most inconsistent person ever. He's either amazing or terrible.
26 years old. 26 years old. Sam
and
Quant.
Freaking Adler has improved every single year. As
old as dirt. Had his best year ever. Done. Toast.
And Lazar and Hopper are all coming as well. Like, they're all getting better. Lazar and Hopper both. So, I mean, I don't know if they can jump into that next tier, but they are getting better. I think third is a huge battle between like 6 guys. And then I think Roman and Justin are just ahead of everybody else. I think there's a gap after that.
Cole and Noah, 31. So
I will be curious to see.
The door's going to open for Jason Hopper, man. The door is about to open for this dude. That dude's going on the podium next year.
I think
I'll be curious to see. I'll be curious to see what happens at Rogue this year.
I will too. Yeah.
In some regards, Roman needs to prove to me the way that Justin did last year that he can repeat this effort against this caliber of field. I didn't see anything at the games that makes me think he can't do that. But finishing 5th at Rogue is not good enough for Roman if this is what if he wants to be the best in the sport. Again, we have no reason not to think that Justin won't win there, but if someone beats him, that would be significant. But more so for Vellner, I think he's already said that he's going to go there, and if he can podium at Rogue, if all the guys actually show up and he podiums at Rogue, then I might give him a chance to podium next year at the games. But right now, I don't know. I think these guys are just, it's hard. Like, at some point, age will catch up to everyone. I'm not saying that he's old. I'm not saying that he's bad. He's still very good. He had some.
He's just not getting better.
He's not getting better, and he continues to do the same thing that he's always done, which is have these blunders in the competition that these other guys are not having as many or as significant of. So I would lean towards the younger group here.
Hey, dude.
Did I surprise you, Sevan? You said I would not have a definitive answer on this.
Yeah. That was your most definitive answer. I'm shocked. I'm almost sad. It almost broke my heart. I want to show you something here. It's pretty fucking harsh, but fuck it. Let's do it. Here's the deal. Justin's going to stay at the top, and Roman and Ricky and Samuel Quant and Jeffrey Adler and Patrick Vellner are all gone. That puts Jason Hopper back. It puts him in second. Lazar Jukic, maybe third. Guy fourth. And then they're going to have to deal with Samuel Cornway fifth. I just told you the top 5 guys for 2023 CrossFit Games.
Oh, man,
I mean, the rest of these guys are toast. I don't know what the fuck Saxon's doing. Do you think that Vellner and Fikowski and Bjorgvin Carl Goodmanson should retire? Do you
No. I mean, look, if their only goal is to win the CrossFit Games, I don't think that they can do it anymore. But I don't think that that's their only goal, and I think there's a huge value in terms of legacy and still earning potential to be able to place in the top 10. There's a lot of sponsorship endorsements. There's a lot of impact that they can have on the sport, the community.
Can they still have fun? John, I was asking him, does he think that Vellner or Fikowski or Bjorgvin should retire? And he's saying no. And he's giving all these reasons, but these dudes only want to go if they think they can win, right?
I think if there's a chance at the podium, they'd want to go. I think they're making money to work out.
I don't even think you guys think that they can podium. I think you guys think that I'm hearing that you guys think that they're.
No, I think they can podium. I think any one of those 3 guys can podium. I think the years of being second or first is over.
I'll also say this, and I hope that this is the case. Adrian Bosman made a point this year to say, I know where the athletes are weak. I know where they have not been preparing for. And in my opinion, his programming was too extreme in that regard of trying to expose all of those things at once. And it did, and for certain athletes, it did create a different experience in terms of their performance and positioning on the leaderboard. I think it could have been rolled out a little bit differently. But the fact that he chose to do that, my hope is that next year that he reminds the athletes that what you think you're preparing for is not what you're preparing for, and that the test looks dramatically different, and that there are different areas of fitness that are exposed, and the things that athletes think that they need to prepare for based on this past year are almost irrelevant next year because there's other elements of the complete test of fitness that you also need to be good at. And that's where someone who's very well rounded and balanced, like a Justin Medeiros or Mallory O'Brien, will still be good. But you might see some of the guys like John was saying, like Ricky, who had this string of like 6 or 7 straight top 7 finishes to start the week. He might not get dealt such a great hand next year. And instead he might have 8 workouts like he had this year, which were, 12th to 20th or whatever they were that start the weekend. And when you start the weekend with 6 straight workouts outside the top 10 instead of 6 inside the top 10, I know it's an extreme example, but mentally that's a lot different for you to prepare with. And you look at someone like a Dallin Pepper. The first 8 workouts of this weekend were terrible for him. He was just getting exposed left and right. And what does that do to your psyche? And is that something that you can rebound and bounce back from and have a good finish to the weekend? If he gets dealt a good hand up front next week, it might be totally different. And that's, I think, the ordering of events matters. The things that the programmer is trying to expose or highlight that not just one athlete, but the whole field of athletes is neglecting in their training and preparation is important. It's okay to have that. But yeah, there's like you guys are talking about, there's a lot of guys that are in the mix, and the way the structure of the overall programming can have an impact on the way that some of this plays out.
I think somebody like Hopper could benefit hugely too if he had a great first day, because he came back and got 7th, I believe, and he was like 31st place after day 1. It was really bad. He had 3 straight really bad events, and just by having a little bit different events, if those 35th places are 15th, then he's easily in the running to podium as well.
By the way, if you're looking at the leaderboard and you think John's wrong about that, don't forget that the shuttle to overhead did not happen 2nd and 3rd. So the first 3 workouts he did were actually 18th, 28th, 29th, and he was way down there on the leaderboard. It doesn't look that way when you look at the leaderboard because they list shuttle to overhead.
Okay, good stuff. Great point. Often you'll hear, we're off script now because I don't want to do question number 4 until the next show. Often you'll hear that the men are deeper. There's a deeper field of men. Okay. But when I look at the women's competition next year, I think the top 20 women are better than the top 20 men. I feel like that there's a reshuffling. There's almost like next year is going to sort of be this cleansing of the men. It may be the worst year in men's competition. And maybe the women's best.
There's a lot of new blood in the women next year.
Yeah, man. The women seems, is that true? The men is deeper, but the top 20 or top 50 women are actually the better athletes, better competition to watch, invest time and energy into.
I don't know. It's like you have to go a little bit further down the men's leaderboard at the games and ask yourself, are guys like Jay Crouch, Enrico Zanoni, Baden Brown, Colton Mertens, Cole Grayshaber, Tudor Magda, that are still young and ascending in their career, going to push into that top 25, top 20, top 15 conversation? And you're still going to add some guys back in, possibly Chandler Smith, Samuel Cornway, who you've brought up. You might lose a couple, but you're going to have an influx of new blood on the men's side too, or a resurgence of some of these guys. Maybe, like, I don't think it's outside of the realm of possibility that Tudor, Magda, and Cole Grayshaber improve dramatically from this year to next year. They both looked really solid at semifinals. It's always going to be hard to qualify out of North American semifinals, but I think they can do it again, and I think they can do a lot better at the games than they did this year.
And somebody like Dallin. Dallin can improve a lot. He could be in top 10 next year as well.
Well, I think that's what Sevan's looking at, is if you look at this, like you see 11 through 20. You have Saxon. He's kind of an unknown. How good is Saxon? Can he get any better? Has he already peaked? Noah Olson's getting older. Cole Sager's getting older. Nick Matthew was at the games this year. He's 28. Can he do that again? Yonakowski's not that old, but he's, this is the worst performance he's had in a while. It was a tough season for him with the surgery, with an illness. He had to go through LCQ. We'll see. Fikowski's getting older. Or what Willie George are we going to see? Travis Mayer's getting older. And then you have Dallin and Spencer that I think, are younger and can be good.
I want to talk about Roman real quick. With our 3 minutes left, how important is this year's experience for Roman? Like, there's a good chance that maybe he'll be 5% better now just because he believes in himself. Like, he hung with the monsters and he's like, oh shit, I am one of the monsters.
I don't buy that. I think Roman came into this year and was like, I'm better than all of y'all. I'm letting y'all know y'all can't hang with me. I think Roman is the most confident person in the whole field. Like, when he does an event, he looks like, I'm just better. Like, his facial expressions, there's no worry to him at all. Like, I feel like Medeiros, when he doesn't know if he's going to be good in an event, like he looks angrier. He's very focused. He's trying to get in the mode of I'm about to hurt myself to win right here. And I do not see – and Ricky looks scared at times. I don't see that with Roman at all. I don't think there's the
sandbag event maybe specifically. Definitely Roman seemed more casual. Not that any of them seemed casual, but Ricky and Justin were intense.
Yeah, they were. And they both did amazing.
Ricky, they were going to fight.
They both ended
like
up beating him on that workout.
Yeah, they both
early in the early rounds, you would have bet on Roman.
Yeah. I would have. Yeah, no, they both did amazing. I'm just saying from a confidence perspective, I don't think there's anybody who's on a better mindset than Roman. Guy, he's a machine.
I mean, I'm not going to disagree with that, but I will say that Roman has done a ton of competitions in the parts of the world that he was able to compete over the last several years, and he has a lot of competition pedigree. But this was the CrossFit Games is different. There aren't any other competitions that are. That's a good point too. Their mindset in Russia, especially when you come from the part of Russia. Well, it's just
Siberia.
Where it is. It's a tough mindset. That's just it's definitely an asset. Experience does matter. You do learn a lot going through that the first year, and whether you're confident or not, there's certain nuances and elements of competing at the CrossFit Games over those 5 days against that caliber of field that he will draw upon that will make him even more formidable next year.
I think just living in the U.S. this year and training without the doubt that he'll be here, he doesn't have to go through that process again. It's done. Will help him. I think he will improve just from that fact alone.